Well, I wanted to pop on here for just a few minutes today. My schedule is still pretty busy, but I really wanted to make time this morning to make a video. I had the time to do it, and I feel like when I don't do a video that it is a disservice to all of you out there that are expecting one. So I definitely put some of the other things that I have going on right now on the back burner so that I could come and make a video. How have I done these last couple of weeks? Well, it's not been pretty. I'll just tell you that much. The last time that I got on here, I weighed in at 126.4. And I'm pretty sure that I shared that I was struggling, that the trunk or treat candy was getting to me, that I was eating way too much of the little fun-sized bars. And I wish I could say, but I stopped it, because that's sort of the way I ended that last video. I didn't. I slowed it down some, but the damage was already done, because I had really gone off kilter with the candy that I was exposing myself to. I'm never going to say that I was exposed to. I exposed myself to it. I always try to take full responsibility for whatever my circumstances are, because if I don't, and if I start blaming others or blaming other circumstances, I'll gain all the weight back. I have to look myself in the mirror, just like I'm looking in this camera right now, and be honest with myself. And that's what I'm doing in front of you today. The last time that I was on here making a video, I had weighed in on October the 26th at 126.4. Now, I knew that I wasn't doing well even while I was making that video, but I was trying to convince myself to get back on track. And I didn't do a great job. But before I go through the rest of my weigh-in, I do want to explain something. Even though my weight-related life has not been great these last couple of weeks, I had a wonderful experience at Trunk or Treat on the last day of this month. We had, at our church, we had 10 cars set up, and from my calculations, we had over 140 trunk or treaters in a little over an hour. That's all we do it. We do it for just a little over an hour, and we had the best crowd of kids that we had since all the craziness that we went through a few years ago. And so I thank God for that. And I did find out, just as I do every year, that I ended up being more blessed than those kids. They would come up and have such excited looks on their face. And I was able to share just a little bit of Jesus' love for them. But when everything was said and done, I had only 2 bags left over. I make 150 bags each year. There was years and years ago, I used to make 200 bags. And then I began to realize that we were not getting the crowds that we once did, especially during this craziness we've gone through. So now I make 150. And I had 2 bags left over. That's all I had left over. I do know that I gave a couple of bags to some adults. There were specific reasons why I did it. So toward the children, I think we probably had about 145 kids to go through. I was so blessed, and I did want to share that with y'all. I'll probably put a couple of pictures up. I didn't get a whole lot of pictures. I never do, because I'm so busy during those times that we are doing the trunk or treat, but that's okay. I know that you believe me. So now, let's get back to my weight during these last 2 weeks. Because of all of the candy that I ate, starting probably around the 20th of October, by the time I weighed in last week, I had gained about 4 pounds over that last week. And then I had some other things that I had to do. Praise God, had a birthday. My youngest child turned 44 last Saturday. I'm so blessed that I can still say that he is celebrating birthdays. If you are not familiar with our circumstance, almost 2 years ago, my son, who was the birthday boy, was involved in a single vehicle accident, and it was so severe we weren't sure that he would celebrate any more birthdays. So praise God, he celebrated his 44th birthday last Saturday, and we celebrated it last Friday. We had 6 or 7 people that showed up to celebrate, and we only have 9 in our family, so it was a wonderful celebration. All but one of my family had showed up at Trunk or Treat, so I was so excited. Anyway, after last Thursday and seeing that I weighed over 130 pounds. That was close to a 4-pound gain in 1 week. And I knew, I had to face reality and get back on track. I had to. If I didn't, I was going to be back, before I knew it, I was going to weigh 140. And my clothes were beginning to get tight, which I always say is a blessing to me because it makes me realize I've got to stop. I got rid of all my bigger size clothes. And so I have to make sure that I don't outgrow what I'm wearing. Anyway, so I did get back on track. Now, weighing over 130, I knew that I probably was not going to get back to my 125-pound happy weight, but I tried my best to track very accurately because that's what I was not doing. I do want to explain something. I was tracking the whole time that I was eating these candy bars and stuff, but it was not accurate. I would maybe say I had 1 or 2, maybe 3, when I was having double that. And this week, I did much better. Now, I'm still struggling some. Right now, the food that I'm struggling the most with is peanut butter, regular peanut butter. Don't ask me why. I am struggling to understand why I'm defeating the purpose that I want to accomplish. But I am my own worst enemy. And I have been pretty brutal to myself these last 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm just not going to do it anymore. I am very busy this time of year. There's so many things going on. And we had an illness in our family, and that added to some of the situation. We're very busy at church right now trying to plan things for Christmas, and that is no excuse because I don't make any excuses. I tell the truth. That's one thing you can always be assured that I'm going to do. I'm not going to get on here and say, ooh, well, I maybe gained some weight. I gained weight these last few weeks, and I'm ready. I'm ready to be back on track. And luckily for me, I was able to rein in the peanut butter. I haven't had any in about 3 days. And the scale reflected that. Because when I got on the scale this morning, I weighed 127.8. Now that's still 1.5 pounds above the 126.4 that I weighed 2 weeks ago. But I'll take it after weighing over 130 pounds last Thursday. That was such a rude awakening because, that 130 has always been a scary thing for me. I mean, you think October 31st is scary? Ooh-wee, 130 pounds is scary for me. And so, anyway, it shook me to the core because it wasn't just 130 pounds. It was over 130 pounds. And so that's what made me know that I had to get back on track. That's my topic, is whenever you find yourself just out there in la la land eating whatever you want to, I want you to always remember that Weight Watchers, your points start over. You don't have to keep piling on those points after a day. Does it reflect how bad you've been eating on the scale when you finally get on it? Yes, it does. But you can change the way you've been eating each day. You can change it for the next meal, but for me, I have a tendency to, when I get up in the morning and I have a fresh amount of points, because the points that I get each day is 23 points. Now that's not very much when you're eating those fun-sized candy bars. I was probably eating somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 50 points every day during that time. I was just eating crazy. I mean, that's all I can say. It was just crazy eating. But I'm not anymore. I'm eating under my daily points for the most part. I still struggled some over the weekend, but I always eat a little bit more on the weekend. We had the birthday, and so I gave myself just a little bit of grace over the weekend. But once the week started, once Monday started, I was determined to try and do better, and for the most part, I have. So when I got on the scale this morning, the 127.8, that was the best scenario I could think of. And I am back on track now. If you have struggled like I have these last few weeks, remember that you can always get back on track. Now, for me, it's easier to do it each morning, but I do want you to know that you can do it at the very next meal. You can do it the next time you start planning what you're going to eat next. And that's probably the best advice I can give you today, to try and get back on track if you've wandered off. I hope you have a wonderful week this week. God bless each and every one of you. Until next time, goodbye.